I feel like, Coach Smith got this saying, the more committed we are, the more connected we become. And, this year we just been so committed to, winning and becoming a team, and it's showing.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, guys.
What's up, y'all?
Aiden, over here on your left. I guess, can you walk us through getting hurt at the, at the end of regulation late and coming back, and can you walk us through just the overtime, the touchdown, and all that?
I was trying to waste time for my team. I'm not soft. I'm good. That's really all I got to say about that, though. I'm straight. I'll be back.
In the overtime, your performance, just, to lead those 2 touchdown drives, get the game.
We wanted it. We wanted that game. We needed that game. We faced adversity. I don't think it's a great football team we just played against, but they didn't have any adversity last week. So it's just, it just came out to see who was the tougher team, and today we were. So, yeah.
All right, we have Jordan up here as well, so questions appropriately. Chris?
Aiden, I wondered if you can go through the end of regulation a little bit, just the pressure you were seeing, and what changed maybe on that, particularly the last drive, and in even the other touchdown in overtime. What did you see from the line in front of you?
What do you mean?
What changed from the line? Where was the blocking coming from? Looked like everything was going left.
Nothing changed. It's just we probably got a little ahead of ourselves. It was a bigger moment. Nothing changed. We just messed up. Miscommunications. It's going to happen in football. Nothing changed.
And then the overtime stuff. What went right?
Everything. We went out there and we played football. Everything went right.
When you say everything went right, there's been games where you guys have needed things to go right like that, and they haven't. What's different about this group with this season? I know Nick was talking about how it's a different team. Why are things different?
This group wants it more. I think we genuinely believe that we come in and we have player-led team meetings that we talk about like how much we want it and what we need to do to win this game to succeed this season. And we go out there and we play football how we know how to play football because this team actually wants to do that. This team is really committed to the goal, and we're all committed to one common goal, and we continue to grow off that each and every day. We practice like we're playing the game anyway. So it's just we come out and, see another guy in front of us. Like Jay Hall told me, it's just another obstacle in front of us from achieving our bigger goal. So that's what today was.
You see that in halftime?
Nah. He told me that during the week.
Jack?
Aiden, can you talk about the plays you made with your legs when you looked like you were stuck and you got spun out for big gains? And Jordan, there were 2 plays, one with the fumble, you knocked it loose, beginning of the game, and then when they lined up for that 2-point conversion, what's going through your head? Aiden, you first.
I just did what I had to do to, help my team succeed. There was times where I probably didn't have to run, and I still did, but, it was a good asset for us, helped us open up the throwing game. It was just, me playing football.
So for that, was it the opening drive or the second drive? We were in man-to-man. Kind of got out on us a little bit, so I just decided, let me try my best to get this ball on the ground as I'm going in to make the tackle. Ball carriers, they get close to the end zone, they like to reach the ball. So I just went in, punched it, and it bounced in our favor. And then, the 2-point conversion, I spoke about this last week. If this game doesn't talk about response, the defense's mantra that we've adopted since January. There were times in this game where things we felt like just couldn't go our way. A lot of missed assignments, some busts, but at the end of the day, we were able to respond when it mattered most and put our offense in the best position to win the football game.
Were you surprised when they called you for that penalty?
A little bit, but next play. It is what it is.
To one or both of you, A, what did it feel like to be a part of that celebration after a win like that? And this is a game you let slip away last year. Does it show anything about this team's maturity that you were able to get it done this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely shows the growth that we've taken in just a year. Being in that situation, we were in another close game like that last year, and we weren't able to come through. But this year, we talked about it all throughout the week where, however many quarters it's going to take, it's going to be a 4-quarter game, but it could take 5, it could take overtime, whatever it takes. And everybody's been bought into that and mature into that idea of, doing whatever it takes to win football games.
Yeah, I think it shows maturity and growth in a week. Last week we didn't play. As a defense, they played great. They played great last week, and they also played great today. But it's just as an offense, we came out and we played a second half. We finished 4 quarters, and we finished 2 overtimes. So it's just that's big growth in a week to see. Forget about what happened last year. It's all about what we are now, and this is the team that I want to ride or die with right now. So yeah.
Is that your coolest moment here in the celebration after the game?
There's going to be way cooler moments, so I'm just waiting for that. I'll answer that in week 10.
All right, we got Rico, Ryan, and Chris to wrap this up here. Rico.
Aiden, I guess first week you and Nick didn't connect as much, but this week looks like you two were definitely on the same page. Did you have any discussions this week, or is it just the way things fell into place?
It's just all the receivers. We work on timing all week. We work on every little detail all week. And all these guys are great receivers. And, it's just, if it's their day, it's their day. If they're open, they're open. And we're going to get them the ball. That's our goal. That's what we try to do. Try to open up the pass game for him. And we ended up opening the pass game for him, and he had a great day.
I have a question for each of you. I'm going to start with Aiden, kind of piggyback off that. Last week, Omari had 11 targets. This week, Nick had 11 targets. What does it kind of mean that you can just kind of pick a receiver per week, but I trust you?
I mean, it's great, There's a few plays where I missed Omari, too. He could have had way more targets. But at the end of the day, it's great to have all these guys. Omari came up and finished the game for us strong. So my fault. It's amazing having everybody. We got Rob Bullard, Krishan McCray, Evan Boyd. We got all these guys. We got even tight ends, Jack Bell and Mike Masunas coming out making big plays. Jay Coyne made a play today. It's just we have all these guys on the field, and the running backs are running the ball, and myself, we're playing great football right now. So we're just going to carry this into next week. We got 24 hours, carry this into next week, and keep it pushing.
And Jordan, for you, Aiden's kind of talked about it's a player-led team here, and you've been here for three years now, and I feel like people are looking at you as that player-led. What does it mean to see the growth of this team over the last 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, I got a little emotional after the game, just given that, the 3 years that I've been here, those are the games that we let slip away, and that sigh of relief a little bit that this is finally one that we got our hands on. It wasn't perfect, but we were able to get it done. But just being a part of that and just seeing the growth from this program in the last 3 years has meant everything to me, and it's something I'm so proud to be a part of.
This is for Jordan as well. You mentioned the 2-point play. I wonder, one, what went right on that play defensively for you guys, and 2, what did it mean for Armorian to get that play to knock down that ball at the goal line?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of you guys know Skee's story. So for him to, I mean, it's not just like something that just happened. Like, he works every day and has more on his plate than anybody in that facility. So for him to be able to put himself in that position to step up when it matters most, and like I said before, that was a big time play that we needed, and I'm glad that it came from Skees in that moment. Probably, I know my biggest moment this far in my college career, but I'm glad it was him.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we'll take questions for Mark Kelly.
We're going to ask before we start. Are you just cold, or is he like somebody said you read?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. This is something I just started doing. When I was at Auburn, I just started wearing ski masks like pregame and started wearing throughout the game. Hey, before we start though, I would like to shout my teammates out, for not giving up on me. Real first half, I'm just out there just trying stuff, and it didn't go my way. But I want to say I appreciate them for sticking with me and still trusting me throughout the whole game.
Matt.
kind of to that point, you get the fumble on the early 2 fumbles. What was it like to, stay engaged in the game, not let they get back, get you down, and then what did it mean for you to finish it off with the game-winning 2-point conversion?
Something I live by is don't flinch. Like whatever happens, however things go, good or bad, don't flinch. Like because things could change in a second, and on that 2-point, Aiden just trusted me, and I'm grateful for that, honestly.
The 2-point, sorry, not 2-point, the fumble in the fourth quarter, I think it was, when you recovered that. What did you see in that play? And considering the 2 fumbles earlier in the game, how redeeming did that feel to make that play and keep things going, right? You mentioned your teammates believing in you.
I feel like that's just a bang play. Like I just reacted. I wasn't thinking too much. I didn't really see anything. I just saw the ball on the ground and just reacted. Mm-hmm.
The job that Aiden did in coming back, I guess, what did you hear from him in that huddle on the sideline going into overtime after he was hurt? And did you expect or anticipate him maybe, because I think Alessio was warming up, right?
Mm-hmm. I didn't really know what was going to happen. Honestly, I know Aiden is a tough player, and to be in a moment like that, I knew deep down, like, he wasn't going to, like, give that up. Like, he wanted to be out there, and it showed that he wanted to be out there. And just, the toughness and the courage he showed to go back out there after, getting hurt, that says a lot about him.
Amari, obviously I know you weren't here last year, but I'm wondering what you learned throughout the week about how the Boston College game last year affected those guys, the way it happened and played out. Did you gain any knowledge, I guess, sort of about how they felt about this one coming in?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a very emotional game. Pre-game things were a little chippy, but building up to it, they were, making sure everybody knew that it was a very important game. Like, even though, it's out of conference and things like that, we knew deep down it was a very important game that we had to take care of.
Marion back. When I spoke to you in fall camp, you said this is one of the reasons that you came to Michigan State is to be a part of, big moments. Now that you are a part of that big moment, what's it like?
It feels great, honestly. Just, gotta take this, celebrate it, and just move on, honestly, because I can't dwell on it for too long, or it's going to, things might not be as good next week. So.
Anything else for Amari? Steven?
Amari, Nick was in here talking about at halftime he kind of demanded some balls come his way.
Yeah, he did.
What did you remember about that, if you saw it, heard it, and just what does it say about a guy that 2 games into his sophomore year, he sort of has that, I don't even know what the word is, but confidence, I guess, to do that and obviously deliver. What was that like?
Nick is a very, very special player, and I feel like he's in a space where he can do that. Like, we were sitting there, he told Coach that he wanted the ball. I looked at Evan Boyd, we sit next to each other, I said, hey, he need the ball then. Like, that's what it is. That's what it is. He's established himself here, and, for him to do that and for him to step up and even have the courage to say something like that, I respect it, honestly.
All right, thanks, Amari.
Thank you. Go Green.
All right, up next we got Jay Coy. Get started with Chris here in the front row. Chris, get Steven when you're done.
Well, Jay, we talked all week about the fullback position and its reemergence in the offense. I think you probably emerged quite a bit here. I guess walk through the touchdown, and what has the development been like over the first 2 weeks for you in that position?
It's been good. Been working hard a lot in camp, and our offense has been doing so well, and meshing together and O-line and all that, and we worked that play a lot, and I'm just happy that we got it right, and it was awesome.
Usually when we're talking about fullbacks, it's more of a selfless position. You're out there blocking for someone. Sometimes you're a decoy, things like that, to have that touchdown and score in overtime in a moment where your teammates really need you. What did that mean to you personally as an athlete who your position maybe doesn't get that sort of opportunity?
It was awesome. I'm so grateful to help the team win, and it makes me so happy just to see all our teammates after the game and stuff, and feel like I helped get us that win, and I'm so happy for our team.
Right in the middle here. Just first off, how great did it feel to get in the end zone? How much did your phone blow up afterwards? Like, how did it feel?
It is awesome. It's awesome. You got a lot of texts I didn't respond to, but yeah, it was great. It was great.
Jay, could you sort of walk through just your journey to this point in this program? You came in as a defensive guy, I think, and how do you even end up playing fullback? And what's that growth curve been like once you become one to where we are, I guess, today?
Yeah, when this new staff came in, they needed a fullback, and I was like, sure, I'll do it. And it's been great, and I've just been trying to learn, and such a great staff, and I'm just awesome. And I love playing the position, and I'm so grateful for them to give me this opportunity.
Did you have any experience doing this type of stuff, like in high school, or was it all brand new?
It was all pretty new. I was mostly defense.
So I think just watching that play and the setup, it looks like it's supposed to look like a run, and then you kind of sneak out, and I guess if it's executed correctly, you're wide open like you were. Take me through your thoughts when the play was being run and you see yourself and you're wide open and just like, yeah, I'm going to score.
Yeah. Yep. As soon as that play happened, I had a pretty good feeling watching film this week that was probably going to be open, and it was just awesome. And happy Aiden trusted me, and it was great.
What does today's comeback win and just composure in that double overtime tell you about this team?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it's something that I don't think this team would have been last year, and it's so great to see. And this team is so tight knit, and it's the best team I've ever been a part of. And it's such a great win.
What if someone would have told you when you were a walk-on defensive end that someday you'd be catching a game-tying touchdown in overtime as a fullback? What would you say?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't believe it. Yeah, pretty cool.
And rewinding from Rico's question, part of that play, you guys sprinted out of the huddle. So is that part of it too, so the defense doesn't have much time to identify the offset eye and stuff?
Yeah, that's part of the play. Yeah.
And also, can you explain a little bit more about what Rico asked? When that play was called, do you just not flinch and just go in robot mode, or did you say, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be my play"? What?
No, you don't have time to think about it. You ran it so many times in practice. You just try to execute, and you don't really have time to think about really anything.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I'll start with, that was a beautiful football game, really by both teams. I thought going back and forth, competing, obviously in the double overtime. Appreciate the crowd. I thought it made a difference. That was an electric atmosphere. Student sections, yes, but the whole place. It was a beautiful football game, and it was a beautiful locker room after that. Really proud of the guys to just continue to fight and find a way, and, you know, especially I think about the second half, coming out and getting that early score, get some momentum going. But they played well too. I thought both quarterbacks played really, really well tonight. And it came down to us getting a stop on a 2-point conversion and us executing to finish the deal. So really proud of the guys.
Armorian Smith's story to have that breakup on the 2-point conversion, for him to have the game he had a few other big plays. What does that mean to you to see a player achieve like that?
Yeah, it means a lot, especially for that guy. The quality man that he is. Effort, football means a lot to him, and I think he was a part of that early fumble recovery, and then to have the breakup on the 2-point play, it's just awesome.
Jonathan, one of the themes from your players in here talking was that this is a game that last year's team probably wouldn't have won. I'm wondering, what is the trait or quality that's either stronger or is here now that maybe wasn't a year ago that allows that thing to happen and for them to feel that way, that this is an outcome that wouldn't have happened?
Yeah, I think there's been growth. There's a closeness, a bond that we got to do this thing together. Experience, we've got some more experience. I mean, I go back to playing these guys last year. That experience, we need to learn from every game and that kind of thing. But I do think the confidence grew offensively in the second half that you could continue to go. And again, the defense holding them to 6. I think there was some confidence there, but and And these guys are aware. These are long football games. There's going to be momentum swings going back and forth. Just really proud of the toughness they showed for more than 60 minutes.
Coach, what does it mean just this last season? You always would find yourself in positions where good first half might not be able to close games like these, but today you finally all pieced together and you got the victory. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think it's a step forward. You found a way to win it like this. Again, this is game 2. We're hoping to play a lot more games beyond just 12 type thing, and so it's early. But again, we talked about confidence can come from displayed performance, and these guys did it tonight, and hopefully their confidence continues to grow from it.
Jonathan, I know you've only been here a year and 10 minutes, but I got to believe that would be your finest moment as a coach here. And what was it like to see your players celebrate like that after a win like that?
Really, yeah, that was meaningful for them to battle that thing out, get into that locker room, the hugs going around, accomplishment at home. To win a game like that is big, and we've got to take advantage of it now and grow from it. But was really just happy for this because there's a lot of players in that locker room been working now, and it hasn't always gone their way. But it came together tonight, and I think we're going to grow stronger from it.
I think I heard Nick Marsh say he told you were one of the coaches, I'm one-on-one, give me the damn ball. You okay with that?
I think if that's the case, he's probably right, if it's one-on-one. And Nick's a competitor. I thought that was huge. Talking about his first touchdown, he's carrying guys into the end zone on slant like that. He is a competitive kid, talented. And so, yeah, we got to continue to find ways to get him the ball. I do like the fact we spread the ball out pretty well tonight, multiple guys touching it, and that helps an offense.
Jonathan was wondering, you go into the halftime taking the knee, fans are booing because, obviously, the way it goes. How big was it to come out of the second half and score, kind of get a little bit of that momentum back and feel like you're more in the game a little?
Yeah, it was big. And now some of the logic at the end of the half is that we were going to start kind of with the ball, but we needed to regroup, put together and execute it on the first drive, going to Nick on a deep ball and things. It's a 7-point game. At that point, we didn't know we had a field goal kicker that bang things through at 50 yards. But obviously, I'm always learning too out there on the field. Martin was huge.
Jonathan, over here, how do you have a sense now after playing these guys and just how good you are in certain areas and where you're concerned? I mean, you talk about the kicker. That's something I think a lot of people found out about. Defensively, you don't maybe get to the quarterback and he has a good game. Childs has maybe his best. What do you know about this team? Can you kind of?
Yeah, I think it's starting to grow a little bit more of the capabilities offensively, especially in that second half. You're right on. I did think the quarterback played really well. We got to find ways to make him more uncomfortable. We got to get better. In all 3 phases. Talked about the run game. We had some good stuff there, but we got to clean up our hands. We're going backwards on some penalties and things. We gave them a drive. It's 3rd and 12. We hit the quarterback, extended that. That turns into 7. I mean, so you're always learning, and there's things that we got to continue to get better at, clean up. But once we've displayed that we can do some things, your confidence level should go up in us being able to do some things.
I'm wondering about your quarterback. What you saw from Aiden, at the end of regulation, he gets hit again and goes down. What were those conversations like on the sideline? And was there any conversation about whether he would go back in, or did he just tell you he was going back in?
No, I mean, he goes down. He's out there. Obviously, the training staff is taking care of him. We're having conversations. I think you saw Alessio. He was out there getting a couple of snaps, being, if he needed to be ready. And then it turned into the overtime, and he was up in the huddle, and there was no other conversation to be made.
Did you know his toughness was there with him?
I do. I think the kid's really tough. I mean, mentally, all he does, how competitive he is out there. He's running, giving so much effort, extending outside the pocket, putting his foot in the ground. I know the kid's tough.
Jonathan, you've talked about football being a game of imperfection. The fact your team had resiliency today, what does that mean to a team moving through the season? And what does it mean when you get unsung heroes, maybe guys like Alante Brown and
huge.
Connington coming in today?
Yep, a bunch of names. Alante on the kickoff return a couple of times. That was massive. I do think the resilience and then the genuine belief, true genuine belief as this game goes on, then knowing that we can still win the thing in the fourth quarter. Hopefully we've learned and gained confidence that we can do that.
Now does that help you going through a season now? That
Yeah,
you've got-
it's going to be, because there's going to be a bunch of games that are competitive like this. We know what kind of conference we're playing in, and these games are going to be competitive.
Jonathan, can you give us some insight on your mindset, the psychology when you're leading your team into the half, when they're down, and what things were said or what kind of emotions took place to give you that kind of output when you came right back out?
Yeah, I think the staff did a good job. We needed to regroup. I mean, at halftime, offensively, we needed more snaps. We needed to stay on the field, and then vice versa, defensively, we need to get off the field on third down and stuff, and that's why halftime's important, to regroup, readjust. Coaches made some nice adjustments, got the group, and these guys aren't in panic mode at halftime. There's definite frustration, but not panic mode.
Can you talk about how tough it was to stop Boston College's pass attack tonight and what Michigan State tried to do to make adjustments as you went?
Yeah, they challenge you schematically too, because they're flooding the boundary some of the times, that you don't get a lot of people doing that. Again, I think the quarterback, besides being accurate, he could go through a progression. He's not just throwing it to the first guy. He's going through multiple reads. I think 11's a really good player. Tight end caught the ball. He's a good player. Throw that along in with a coaching staff schematically. Those guys are really good. So all of that challenged us. I know on our end, we did miscommunicate a couple of times. You want the crowd into it. You want it to be nice and loud on third down. Well, we weren't on the same page a couple of times, which we got to make sure that don't happen.
I'm wondering, you mentioned about the miscommunications. It seemed like the 2 touchdowns early, there was some issues with
100%.
Jordan. You know, and is that just relaying the message? And I'm wondering about the atonement that he showed throughout the game, and then as well as Stanton, who, you know, had a couple holding penalties, had a couple missed assignments, but then you're running over him to win, to basically get Aiden and Frazier down there.
Yeah, I think Jordan does a great job of communicating, but we got to make sure that all the other 10 guys got their eyes locked in on him on that call. We just didn't follow what he was communicating, I'll say it that way, without watching the tape deeply, and I'll get back to you on Monday on some of that. But on Stanton's end, too, the guy continues to battle that whole front. And again, we rotated multiple guys in the game again, but they no back down, no let down, man.
I'm curious the difference between this defense when Malik is out there and that little spell when he was out with the injury or whatever he was dealing with in that first half. Like how big of a key is he to this defense?
He's a pretty big piece. He is a good player, experienced out there. So yes, he's one of our better players on defense. And so again, we miss him when he's out there. But again, next man, that's got to be able to get him. And we had some of that. We'll watch this tape, but I thought Justin had some good snaps. Cromwell got out there, but we definitely miss Malik when he's not in.
Jonathan, right here in the middle, we've discovered a lot of big weapons on this team. Why is the biggest one Ryan Eckley, and how good is his short game?
Yeah, I know. It's phenomenal, because they were giving me a little bit of grief. I think it was about fourth and a yard and a half, maybe. Offensively, you know, they wanted to go do this thing. Well, this guy bombs it 60 yards, puts the thing into the 16, totally flips the field, and that's a weapon in this day and age to have that. I don't exactly know how he's got this technique where the thing just sits and doesn't continue to go into the end zone, but he's got it.
Coach, talk about Jay Coyne's play, and he sat up there and confidently said that from watching it on film and from running in practice that it was going to work. And you're an offensive guy, you know, talk about, did you have that same feeling when it was being run?
Well, you know, you're calling it in a tight situation, whether you're in a tight red zone or short yardage, third and one type thing. I do love that kid in regards to how hard he works. He's helping us a ton on kickoff, and now he's growing his role being the fullback, putting his face on guys, making it physical, and then all of a sudden he's been doing that, and then you slip him into the flat. It's an effective play, so I was happy for him. Thanks, guys.